Good morning, Davie County Diggers. It's good to see you. This is Chris Boardwine with the channel, coming back to you today for another hunt. I'm in my hometown today, and today's kind of a special day for me, actually. The house that I'm getting ready to hunt today is a house of a friend that meant a great deal to me, that passed away a few years, Taylor. And Taylor and I had a lot in common. We both were from Maryland. We both served in the Marine Corps. We both worked for the same telephone company. So needless to say, Taylor and I had a lot going on there, and we were just always good buddies. And anyhow, his wife Kathy gave me permission to hunt the property, and I'm really grateful to her. I'm really hopeful that today I'm going to be able to find something that's identifiable back to his family that I can put back in her hands. I'm going to show you the house in just a second. The reason I didn't film from up there is it's right along Main Street, and it's early morning and there's tons of traffic, so it would have just been so loud. But the house is built in 1894. It's gorgeous. Every time that you drove up and down Main Street, Taylor was working on the house and painting and working on the roof. Just, you name it, he was working on that house, and he had a lot of pride in it, and you could tell that. I'm in front of his workshop out back right now, so who knows, maybe we'll get lucky, find some cool stuff. But I'm getting ready to show you the house. I'll film around it a little bit, and then we'll be back on the first find. Stay with us. Well, DCD, I started along the back of the house and found a little piece of tin off the house, and then the second hole that I had is a little memorial penny I found from the 1980s. Not too exciting, but hey, it just tells me that I know things are right back here, and I know I'm going to find some coins today. I just hope that they get, I hope I find some old ones, but we're on the board. We'll take it. We'll go ahead and keep moving. Well, guys, I had a nice little 90s signal here, and had my hopes up, and what do you know? I don't know if you see the coloring on it, but it's an old sheriff's car. Well, guys, I just had a high 80s, low 90s target, and I'm pretty excited about this, actually. Thought it was a doorknob at first, but I think it's either a drawer pull or maybe something to go on a cabinet. It's pretty big to be a drawer pull, actually, but I believe it's probably brass, and I believe it's period. It's a nice piece. I think that's pretty cool. I think the property owner's gonna be happy with that. All right, on to the next. Well, I got excited there for just a second. I had another high squeak, and Mr. Lincoln, 1973 memorial, a sign of better things to come. Woohoo! I'm at the base of this really old crepe myrtle tree. I say really old, I mean it's probably not really old, but it's a big old crepe myrtle tree. It's pretty. I'm sure it looks beautiful in the spring when it blooms out, but I did have a nice target at the base of the tree, and yeah, it's clad 1967. I'm moving in the right direction, but I mentioned in my last video I am on a silver drought. I haven't dug a silver since May, and it is the first week of October right now, and I've been digging old properties every week practically, so I know it's just a matter of time, but hopefully today, right? But yeah, 1967, just close enough to tease. It's out there, I just got to find it. We'll keep moving. Well, when I came out here today, obviously I wanted to find some cool treasure and some old relics, but one of my main goals, because of my deep admiration and respect for this family that's letting me hunt here in our long relationship, was I really wanted to find something that was identifiable back to the family and be able to give that back to them, and I have found that. So I told you that the gentleman that owned the house, his name was Taylor, and a dear friend of me, and I miss him dearly. And one of the things I want you to know about Taylor was Taylor was always known for giving. All of his time was spent helping other people, and for many years Taylor was the Boy Scout troop leader here in the town that we live in, and I got an 80-81 signal here. It was ringing up really clean, and I have found a neckerchief slide from the Boy Scouts. So that's really, really cool. I'm super excited about that. Let me turn this camera off and clean it up just a little bit and see if we can't get a little more detail off of it. Be right back. Well, she didn't come out perfect, but I got to clean up just a little bit, and I'll be able to work on that a little bit more when I get home. But yeah, some color popped out on it, and that's really cool. I'm going to have to refresh myself on my neckerchief slides. I want to say this might be a Webelos slide, a Webelos neckerchief slide. Webelos standing for Will Be Loyal Scouts. I'll confirm that, but I think that's what that is. But I know that this was probably involved from when Taylor was the troop leader here in the scouting organization here in our town, and I can't wait to give that back to his wife Kathy. That's going to be super. All right, we'll move on, see what else we can come up with. Well, y'all have come upon a mini little coin spill here. I've got 2 quarters and 1 dime in the hole. 2 of the coins are from the 70s, and then one of the quarters is from 1967. That's the second 67 quarter I found in the yard, but I want to show you where I'm at. I am right underneath the clothesline. And I know you guys know this, but if you're just getting started, whenever you want to hit an old yard and they've got an old clothesline, take a beeline for it, because you know that when they used to hang blue jeans and stuff up back in the day, just like we throw clothes in the dryer now and sometimes forget to take coins out, they did too when they would hang the clothes up on the clothesline, and lots of times the wind would blow and the coins would come out. So I found a bunch of coins underneath clotheslines, and you will too if you look there. So still searching for that silver. Moving on. Well, I'm still working underneath this clothesline, and I have pulled I don't know if it'll focus or not, but I have pulled a zinc penny out of the ground, and you hear detectives talk about that penny was roached. This penny is roached. So you can see the deterioration on the penny. So any penny made after 1982, there it goes in the grass. Any penny made after 1982 was plated with a copper on the exterior, but it's really like 98% zinc. And you can see what the ground does to it. It just absolutely destroys it. So I guess you could technically call that a half cent, because about half of it's gone. Well, I'm still here at the same hole where I found that roached zinc penny, and I always encourage you to check your holes before you close them up, because I had more targets in the hole, and so I ended up with 3 of those really, really roached zinc pennies and 1 modern quarter, or excuse me, 1 modern nickel from the 90s. So yeah, always check your holes before you close them up. Well, I have worked all along this grass stretch in here when I got done over there at the clothesline, and I mean there was targets just every foot, and comet lids and pieces of pop metal and you name it. A lot of it was ringing really, really good, and I dug a bunch of holes and didn't film anything. So I'm kind of working along this rock wall right here, and had a nice little signal, and dug it out of the ground. It's a 1975 memorial penny. So I'm a little bit perplexed. Where are the old coins? I know this house is super old. Where are you guys? I am still working this little rock wall, and at this point I'll kind of take what I can get, and I'm not ready to dance the Irish jig or anything, but I did pull a wheat penny out of the ground. It's probably going to be pretty hard to see the date from the camera, but it's 1942. Maybe you can see that or not. Yeah, believe me, it's 1942. I looked at it. So, you know, I know there's silver in this yard. I know it, I know it, I know it. I'm going to find it. Hoorah. Well, I'm back. I am about a foot over from where I just dug that wheat penny. Had another nice, decent little signal, and what do you know? There's another one. Let me see if I can get this thing to the camera and let you look at it. It's in pretty good shape. It's a little slick, but Mr. Lincoln here was made in 1915. So I'll clean it back up a little bit when I get home, but that's cool. She got a little green to her. I like that. Maybe we're getting on to something. Fingers crossed. Stay with me. Well, y'all, I'm right over here in front of Taylor's workshop and had a real high signal and dug this really cool Jeep. That's pretty cool. It appears to be perhaps just a little bit older than like the 70s Matchbox era vehicles. I don't think it's a Tootsie or anything like that, but that's pretty neat. When I showed Kathy the first toy car I found, she was pretty excited. She was going to clean that up and give it to her son, so who's obviously a grown adult now, but perhaps he'll get a kick out of that one too. He's probably the one that lost it, so that's pretty neat. I just found that Jeep right there and came over here. Found another cool little car, probably from the 70s or 80s, I'm thinking, somewhere around in there. If I keep finding cars, I'm going to have enough to have my own race here pretty soon. Pretty neat. Like old cars. Well, hey y'all, I'm back. I haven't had the camera on in a little while. I am way back behind the house. I'm probably a good 500-600 yards back, and I just wanted to walk and scope the rest of the property out, and I found a spring down here, and I thought, well, where there's a spring, probably back in the day there were people drawing water. So I came down here and ran the detector and got a mid-tone, and this is really interesting. So can you see the bust of Jefferson on there? I think I kind of can, and it's kind of, I mean, it's really roached, but certain angles there you can kind of see it. The Monticello there on the back. I mean, I'm 99.9% sure this thing is a nickel, but check this out. So what I've got right now is one of the common clad nickels that I have found in this, what I believe is a nickel, and I've got them standing end on end. Can you see how thin that coin I just found is? It is just paper thin. It's roached. I'll never get a date off of it, I'm certain. But I need to do a little research and find out when they started making Jefferson nickels. I really was kind of thinking maybe it was going to be a Buffalo when I first pulled it out. But it's old. It's an oldie goldie. I don't know how old, but that's pretty cool. You hear me say it a lot. That's a piece of history. Well, y'all, after I dug that weird nickel, I've really had a rough go of it. I have dug and dug and dug. I've dug a bunch of different holes and just really found a bunch of junk. Was really strongly considering giving it up for the day, and came back up here. I am back a little bit closer to the house again. This little side or yard area over there is where the clothesline was, where I found those clad coins. But I came back over here and I had a scratchy little signal, and it just didn't want to pinpoint or anything for me. I dug the hole a lot bigger than it needed to be, but I've got a 1953 wheat cent. So on days where you're not digging anything super old or valuable, you know, you kind of take what you can get, and I guess that makes my third wheat cent for the day. So not terribly old, but hey, it's something. I'm just happy to be out here, not at work, metal detecting today, so I'm happy. Well guys, it's towards the end of the day and I'm really tired. I'm whooped. I came over here and I'm right against the side of the house. I hadn't really hit this area much today because it was kind of overgrown, but I kind of circled back around once before I left, and what do you know? See if I can find it again. Yeah, there it is. Camera doesn't want to focus good. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's another wheat cent. 1942, I believe. Yeah, it's pretty rough, but I'll clean it up when I get home. But that's wheat scent number 4 today. So pretty cool. We'll finish making this sweep here and probably call it a day. Well, hey guys, I'm back with the wrap up. You can see my pile of junk is extensive today. And the only reason I'm showing it and not putting it all just in a basket is every single one of these pieces of junk represents a hole that I dug and wear and tear on my back. So I'm kind of proud of all this junk. I dug it, I'm going to show it. I also did find several little cars. I got a little fire truck, a little bulldozer, a little race car, the sheriff's vehicle, and the Jeep. I also found the cabinet drawer pull. That's pretty cool. I've got a couple of shotgun caps and a shell casing. The Scout neckerchief slide. I've got 3 modern clad quarters, 2 from the 60s, 1 from the 70s, 3 clad dimes, 2 nickels, and 10 pennies, all memorial, and several of them are zinc and pretty eat up. I also did find 4 wheat pennies, the oldest being 1915, 1941, 1942, and 1953. And then what I'm going to consider the most interesting find of the day is that Jefferson nickel, and I'm going to try to get it to where you can see it just a little bit better. You can clearly make out the bust of Jefferson. There's no question that's what this is. You can see Monticello there. I can't see any writing on it that I can discern or make out. I don't think there's any chance whatsoever of getting a date off of this coin. But the thing that I was most impressed about with this coin is just how thin it is. It is, it's paper thin. In my estimation, thinner than a modern dime. I don't know what caused it to get like that, but I suspect it's pretty old. I really would love to know the date on it, but I guess I never will. But anyhow, that was kind of a neat find down there by the old spring. So if you're still here, thanks a lot for watching the video. I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me. If you haven't already done so, it would mean a lot to me if you would hit like and subscribe. If you got any comments that you'd like to throw out there to me, I'd love to hear them. If you're on Facebook, come on out and find me at Davie County Diggers. We'd love to have you there. This is Chris Boardwine. We'll see you next time.
I'm a rambler and a drifter, a taker and a giver. You can chase me all your